to a couple of Lionsgate L's, Dave. Let's start with Knives Out. Tell me why this is an L for Lionsgate.
Oh man, so we got a bombshell report, exclusive report from Deadline last week that Netflix has acquired Knives Out 2 and 3 in a
Boom.
deal with Ryan Johnson and his producing partner Ron Bergman in the 400 plus million range. And obviously that's an L for Lionsgate because that means Knives Out 2 and 3 are not Lionsgate movies anymore, they're Netflix movies. And I was not aware of this arrangement, but evidently, Knives Out, the original, which was a huge success in 2019, grossing over $300 million at the box office, despite being a completely original film. Knives Out was shopped in a one picture deal, and that's how Lionsgate ended up distributing it. So Ryan Johnson and Ron Bergman had just carte blanche to put this movie up to the highest bidder, and apparently Apple and Amazon also were bidding on Knives Out 2 and 3. And it's one of the most lucrative sales to a streamer ever.
hmm
So obviously, major dub for Ryan Johnson, Ron Bergman, because that's fucking a lot of cash. Good for them.
Hell yeah.
Um, and Lionsgate, Lionsgate's been very up and down. We're talking about one of the downs in a bit, Chaos Walking, but man, they must be frustrated that they didn't try and lock in like future options and stuff. But how can you know? I mean, it was brand new stuff. Who knows if it was going to be successful? But it was one of the. I mean, Knives Out one made more money in the U.S. than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's
Crazy.
kind of nuts.
Yeah. And you think about when what this was for Ryan Johnson, coming off the Star Wars The Last Jedi, really divisive movie in the Star Wars fandom. I think this really solidified him as a person who can make popular movies that pretty much everybody loves, and people should have loved The Last Jedi. Actually, I would refer people to your TikTok. I think I've watched it like 5 or 6 times just because it's really funny to see how they went about just trying to basically act like it just didn't happen between the first and third movies of the last trilogy. But Ryan Johnson's really good at making movies, man, and I'm so excited to have more Knives Out. Give me Benoit Blanc.
Yeah.
And Daniel Craig just being a goofy, silly actor. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, and so in that Deadline story, there was a piece I was not aware of where basically Knives Out came into existence because there was room in Daniel Craig's shooting schedule when Danny Boyle left Bond 25, and in the time before Cary Fukunaga joined on
Mhm.
board to make the film that is No Time to Die. We'll be seeing at the end of this year. And in the process, Daniel Craig ended up finding his post Bond franchise, and
Amazing.
way more money in his pocket soon enough. It's quite the turn of events, right?
Get that
Um,
bag.
yeah. And I guess the only thing that I'm disappointed in is because Knives Out was a original film, brand new thing, and a box office success. It sucks that that's not going to be in the
Mhm.
theater anymore. Because it's also a great theater movie as kind of a rip roaring mystery caper, and it makes plenty of sense that there are sequels to this. You have
Mhm.
your stability of Craig's Benoit Blanc, and then you have a new case, new cast of characters, brand new cast. It's a great way to bring other high profile actors in that don't have long term commitments. Like it makes perfect sense, right, to
Mhm.
make more of these. Uh, but it will kind of be a shame that we can't see this in the theater. And it's Netflix. I know some people are saying, "Oh, maybe Netflix will lead the money table." It's Netflix. They do not put anything out in the theaters besides a token awards release. So you're not going to see it there. You're going to see it on your TV.
Yeah, I was looking it up. It did get one nomination for the Academy Awards, but it's not enough to potentially get that movie theater release for it.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, it was contending for Best Picture. Everyone pegged it as like the 11th or 12th movie, like just kind of missed out. And now you have the Netflix marketing dollars. Maybe if Knives Out 2 is amazing, this does get some real Oscar love for Ryan Johnson and friends. Who knows? But at least it'll be in everyone's home. So
yeah, and then
even more people will see it in all likelihood.
it's gonna be taking place overseas, so it's gonna probably look really cool. It's probably gonna be in some awesome Greek villa or something like that. I can't wait to see that. Do you have anything you want to see? Any storylines that you can think of? I have one that comes to mind specifically for how I want them to go about the sequels, but
I mean, Knives Out 1 was, compared to Agatha Christie. Obviously, there's kind of those familiar, I won't say tropes, but like structures and
Mhm.
ideas for like crafting mystery stories. And I feel like those are kind of on the mind in general because of Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile, which is coming out soon, being relevant again. But yeah, I mean, nothing really comes to mind for me. I'm just excited for some really cool casting because again, you kind of have
Mhm.
the world is your oyster with this, where you can just cast someone,
Yeah.
anyone you want for any kind of character.
I just want like the Benoit Blanc, like whatever case made him the famous detective. I want
Mm,
that. So whether it's
that's
like,
cool,
I hope we could get like a prequel sequel kind of thing.
right?
That was the only thing that came to mind because I was
Yeah.
like, how did he become famous? That was one of my biggest questions.
And I mean, this was like it was announced that like a sequel was in the works very soon after
Mhm.
the first movie found success. So you have to imagine this was Ryan Johnson's primary focus throughout all of the pandemic. So I'd imagine this script is in good shape.
Mhm.
This does not feel like it's being crapped out at all. I'm sure this
Yeah.
is going to be pretty darn good.
Uh, I have total faith in them to pull off something good. Uh, how would you feel if in one of the sequels we get a Lakeith Stanfield, Benoit Blanc team up again?
Oh, sure, sure.
Give
Love me
me
some
more of
Lakeith.
that.
He doesn't have a whole lot to do in the first one, to be honest. Um, Yeah, I mean, heck, maybe he's just into and he left his job at the local
Yeah,
force and teamed up with Benoit Blanc and freelance.
that's what I'm thinking.
That's an easy way to write him in.
Perfect. Get us on the writing team here.
Yeah,
We
we
got
got it.
ideas. Hit us up.
We'll
Um,
we'll, we'll do it at cost,
yeah,
low
exactly.
rates.
But anyways, Knives Out 2 and 3. More than excited for it. Any last thoughts on this before we move into Lionsgate's second L, Dave?
Hmm. I have to imagine a shoot in June of this year. We're probably not getting it till next year,
Mhm.
but happy to wait. Trust me, happy to wait. And we're getting a third one. Cool.
There's going to be a lot of movies and probably movies we want to be talking about coming out, so I can wait a little bit for it.